All right, so this is the 110 right now. It looks a lot different than it did last time I recorded. I've got every single bolt off this thing and every other part that is possible to take off without cutting it off. And I'm gonna start scraping all the oil off and then sanding this thing down and priming the frame to get ready to be repainted in John Deere green. It's gonna be tricky on the bottom. Top and sides are gonna be really easy. Only parts that are gonna be fun is here, around the sides, and this. All the rest of the sides are pretty much easy. The front is gonna be easy. I have to knock out one dent. But the bottom and top is where it's gonna be tricky because the bottom's all like that and top. I've got this bracket with a nut welded to it, which wasn't original, I don't think. And then this piece that sticks up. And then that piece and this piece. Sideways slanted parts are gonna be hard. But with that being said, I'm gonna get my orbital sander. Get a new pad on there. But then I'm gonna get away after that after I start scraping oil off. So. Alright, this is the frame right now. I just put the first layer of paint on it. I decided to paint the frame instead of powder coat the frame. I'm gonna try and powder coat everything else. But this is just the first coat of John Deere green. I put 3 coats of primer on it. And I'm gonna try and get to the last coat tomorrow, or the last 2 coats tomorrow. But after I get the top, what I'm gonna do is go on the inside, because you see how I left the inside all rusty and everything. I'm gonna go on the inside after the outside is done, sand down the inside, and then use some rust barrier paint instead of green John Deere or primer. I'm just gonna use rust barrier for the whole inside of it. So that will get like the motor mounts, all this brackets, everything in there, the inside walls. And I think I might do the inside of these with that rust barrier. I'm not too sure yet. But this is what the frame's looking like so far. I'm gonna try and stop runs, so that's just it right now. All right, so the frame got moved, but it's got the final coat on there. I've done a couple touch-up spots, but other than that, it's mostly dry. All up here is dry. I just put a couple spots, went on around that. But that's how it looks. I'm gonna wait for it to dry, and then I might clear coat it. You can kind of see some streaks every once in a while, but all of this is going to be underneath the mower anyway, so you're not going to see it, so it's fine. But this is what it looks like. I think it turned out pretty nice. It's not rough anywhere, it's really smooth. So, I think it turned out nice. And the other side here, it's just the same. It's nice and smooth all the way around. So that's how the frame looks. Okay, it's been a while since I recorded, but the frame is all taped up. I'm gonna get ready to paint it with this black tractor paint. I spent probably an hour and a half taping up the entire thing. It's not the best looking, but it's got all clean lines all the way down. That's where I spent all my time on it. But I gotta do all of this, all the insides, and through here, this bottom piece, try not to get in there, all up in there, and there. I'm gonna be using these because I don't have a paintbrush, so it's gonna be fun. So I guess I'll get to it. All right, so the frame is done. I'm not gonna take the paint off yet until it dries. because this paint runs a lot, so it'll get on the new paint. Just like it already has started to, so it already ran onto the John Deere green that I painted yesterday or however long ago. But everything is done. I also have to flip it over probably tomorrow or the next day anyway to paint it, so I'm also not going to take the paint off yet for that too. But it's all done. It is thick paint. It's going to take about 2 to 3 days to dry. That's just how the paint is. But the whole inside is completely done and painted. I missed a little spot right there, but that's fine. I can go back over it later. What I did is, so for these brackets, they're going to be halfway green, and they're just black the rest of the way. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it at all. The only thing you might be able to see whenever the mower's finished is a black little line right here. And then that in the front. That'll be all you see. There's a tiny little black lip on this front piece. I did that on purpose. And then, so whenever I flip it over, I have to do that wall and this wall. And then the top of this piece I have to do. I just spilled water all over that. Hopefully it still dries. But I have to do the top of this piece and probably, I have to do the front of this. Right there, it's still green. Sneeze. But other than that, it's completely done. And all the paper and tape held up good, so I'm gonna see how it all turns out whenever I get it finished. There's probably gonna be a few spots where the black is gonna be on the paint, like right here there might be a small run, a chance of it, because that tape is pulled up a little bit, and there too. And there was another spot where it could have ran down. I just don't remember where it's at. I'm just hoping it didn't, because I don't really want to have to repaint the frame again, or at least have to do touch-ups again. But other than that, this frame is done. And it should look pretty dang good whenever the mower's finished. So I'm going to end this video here, and I'm probably going to start recording on a new video doing all the rest of the parts of the mower. Because there's a piece that goes in here that bolts into these 3 holes on this side too. And that bolts in, and that holds the hitch on and the axle in. And that's what this little cutout is, and that's what this is for. Because that's for the axle to go in. So I'm probably going to do that next. But that's it for right now.